Listening to a GWP weather update. It's Wednesday, April 15th, 2026, and in today's weather update, we're going to be looking at the storm chances as we go into today, as well as into Friday across the state of Missouri. So we'll start by showing you your national weather alerts here across the country. This is from the National Weather Service's weather alerts, and so you'll notice that we do still have some ongoing flooding across the Great Lakes where we had some heavy storms overnight. We had even some tornado reports once again yesterday, just like we had on Monday across this region. So ongoing flood watches and warnings across this region, across Wisconsin, Illinois, into northern Indiana, Ohio, and across the state of Michigan. We're clear right now in the state of Missouri for weather alerts, but that will soon change as we do have another severe weather risk as we go into today. The good news is we are dealing with some rough weather here across the Midwest, but we're not dealing with the worst weather in the world. As we mentioned in your weekly news update on Monday, we do have a typhoon that is ongoing across the Western Pacific. So here is the United States, here's the Pacific, here's the Western side. Of course, Hawaii, or there's Hawaii right there. And so then quite a bit to the west of that, we have Micronesia over here. We've got the Philippines in this area. And then we've got the Mariana Islands over here that are currently dealing with the impacts from this super typhoon. We're currently looking at wind speeds at around 125 miles per hour at the most intense spot. So the Northern Mariana Islands still seeing some of the impacts. The last check there in the capital there of the Mariana Islands, we were still picking up winds at around 73 miles per hour, or at least gusting upwards of 73 miles per hour. So again, that's near hurricane force or near typhoon force across this region here, still picking up some winds offshore of around 100 to 115 miles per hour. So still something that we're going to be dealing with as we go through the rest of today across that region. Of course, Guam has also seen some of the impacts from this system as well. That's going to continue about 24 hours from now. That should move out of the area. So again, we're not dealing with the worst of the world, or we're not dealing with the world's worst weather here in the state of Missouri. That would be this typhoon that is moving in across the Mariana Islands. But we are dealing with some showers that have been out there this morning, a few rumbles of thunder at times, and there will be additional chances for rain later today. And so we'll have to watch that very closely because we are once again under a slight risk for severe storms as we go into today. And so we've got that risk from northern Texas across the Red River Valley, extending through the Central Plains here into Missouri, and then up through the Great Lakes. Once again, really the same areas that have been dealing with the severe weather the last couple of days are once again at risk for severe weather. Now, as far as that tornado risk goes, in southwestern Missouri, we are in that 5% category. So the tornado risk is not high, but it is higher than it was yesterday. And so that's something important that we want to note about this. Some of those afternoon individual supercell thunderstorms, some of those could rotate after 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon. And so that's where we have that tornado potential. We do also have that hatched area across southwestern Missouri. We're under a level 1 under that intensity scale. And so what a intensity 1 significant risk means is that we're looking at the risk of EF2 tornadoes or stronger. And that's going to be a slight possibility in addition to that 5% category that we're under. So again, not a huge risk for tornadoes, but just slightly higher than what we have seen over the past couple of days. And that specifically is for the southwestern portion of our viewing areas. That goes from Nevada over to Stockton Lake, Springfield, and Joplin. Those areas have a slightly higher tornado risk than what we've had the last few days. Wind is, a little bit on the lower side, and then hail also is low as well. So overall, our threat is very low for severe storms. Our tornado threat is definitely lower than the hail and the wind risk, but it is something that we're still going to be watching as we go throughout today. We are not under a hatched area across the state of Missouri for either wind or hail. The tornado threat in southwestern Missouri, that is the only hatched area that we have here across the state of Missouri. Showing you a closer look. So again, the entire our viewing areas under that slight risk. So again, we will have some thunderstorms. We will have some showers and storms continuing through the rest of this morning. Those are not the ones that are going to be severe. The ones that are going to be severe are going to be the ones that we're going to deal with this afternoon, this evening, and then into the overnight hours. We're looking at hail up to the size of golf balls, damaging winds of up to 70 miles per hour, and a few isolated tornadoes, a couple of which may be EF2 or stronger across the areas. That's what we're going to be watching for as we go forward in time. And then, as we mentioned, we're going to get to that here in a moment. We've got a severe threat on Friday again. But for today, we do have that flood risk. We are under a marginal risk for flooding, especially for our southern and eastern counties. Marginal risk outlined by the Weather Prediction Center for flooding as we go into today. Timing things out here on the radar. This is from Tropical Tidbits here. Again, a few showers, a couple of thunderstorms. These are not going to be severe, so you don't have to worry about those. It just could make for a wet drive this morning and into the early afternoon if you're going to be out and about. So you'll want to make sure to be ready for that. A couple of thunderstorms around 2 o'clock. These will also not be severe. They could turn severe, but when they develop across our eastern counties, they're not going to be severe. Our main severe potential is going to begin around 4 or 5 o'clock. Thunderstorms developing across southeastern Kansas and southwestern Missouri. Again, large hail, damaging winds, and a few isolated tornadoes are going to be possible. They move into our eastern counties by about 7 or 8 o'clock, continuing into northern Missouri. About 9 o'clock, the majority of these storms will begin to move out of the viewing area. So really the main window for severe weather for today is going to be from about 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. The GWP live stream window is going to be from 4:30 to 11 o'clock this evening. That is going to be our GWP live stream window. So we'll have to see again. If necessary, we will do a live stream. If it's just a couple of isolated storms, we'll probably just keep you updated through the post on the YouTube channel. So that is what our plan is for today. And then everything will be out of here by midnight. So we're not going to have a lingering overnight severe weather threat. By the late evening hours, all of this is going to push out of our area. And so, of course, that is going to be some good news. So severe weather threat for tomorrow is not going to be across the area. So that's good. We don't have a risk for tomorrow, so we get a break. And then on Friday, we do have an enhanced severe weather risk across the state of Missouri. Now, this is something we need to pay closer attention to because this is a 3 out of 5 on the SPC's scale. And so kind of zooming in a little bit more on the state of Missouri, again, our northwestern counties are under that enhanced risk. That includes Nevada, Stockton Lake, Lake of the Ozarks, Columbia, up to Harrisonville and Kansas City. Now, from Joplin to Osage Beach and Jefferson City and Springfield, we're under that slight risk. Now, these threat levels could shift a little bit, the risk could go down a little bit, but it could also increase. I do think that Friday is going to be our highest risk for severe weather. I think we'll have the most severe weather on Friday. I think we will have the most tornado warnings on Friday, the most severe thunderstorm warnings. I think our highest risk is going to be on Friday. Friday will potentially be the most active day for severe weather that we've had so far this season, which I mean, that doesn't really say a whole lot, but it does say that we are getting into the more active period of severe weather. So Friday afternoon and evening, you want to make sure that you're prepared. Again, there's still some uncertainties in this forecast. So as we get closer, we will continue to update you here on GWP on the latest information. But again, a slight risk for severe storms as we go into today, and then a little bit of a higher risk as we go into Friday, as a cold front is going to be driving those thunderstorms. That cold front will move in, and that will cool off temperatures as we go into this weekend. All right, well, that's it for your GWP weather update. We'll keep you updated here on GWP.